Oh man, all right. um, you know, vanity, man, vanity. That's that's it. Because it's like hatred. You know, hatred that gets all the buzz. You know, it gets all the pizzazz. It gets all the like ooh, like like hateful people love to hate hatred. Ugh. And that's a totally other video, but damn, it's true. You know, hateful people, because it's all about false righteousness. Um, although in the Torah, righteousness is action rather than attitude. Attitude. I got attitude. I got righteousness. You know. But vanity, man, that's like hatred gets talked about, pride gets talked about, and nowadays when people talk about pride, they talk about arrogance, and it's like no, no, no. Like pride is to not see properly, you know, and humility is to see properly, you know. Like I used to talk with my grandpa, and like one time he was telling me, you know what, like you'd like to think that you're this, you'd like to think that you're this, but you're never gonna know until it happens. You know, you're never gonna know until that moment. The person that you are. And I made a video on fear. It was fun because it's like most fear movies are all about bravery and cowardice, but it's like, and I've never really been into horror movies, but it's like, you know, it's like, damn, no, fear is, you know, maybe you're not the person that you think you are. You know, and that gets into pride, right? Because pride, you're just going to be like, you know, desperately trying to hold on to your ego. And vanity is kind of just pushed aside, you know, it's just this a lower type of vice. You know, another type of vice that gets all the press is carnal vices, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know, and like I was just flipping through Facebook. I usually wake up in the morning and sit on the toilet for like 30 minutes or so, and I'm usually just flipping through Facebook, and usually I'm just trying to look for like half naked chicks, right? And but all these different videos will come up, and I might watch some of them now and then. There's some interesting growing videos out there, and parasite videos, and just all these different videos. There was this one Jew who got up there, and he's talking to this group of people, and he's like saying, you know, I don't even usually like coming out here because people don't like to hear what I'm about to say or something like that. You know, he's doing whatever. You know, he's doing his thing, whatever that is. And but what he said was that the addiction was the solution. And I'm like, damn, like, that's good. Some good shit. The addiction is the solution. But I don't know. I think you know, and it's like we talking about all these big vices out there. Hatred didn't. Pride sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know. And vanity kind of just gets pushed aside, man. It does. But it's like with the hatred. That's a moment in your life where you're confronted. Like, do I hate this person or do I forgive them? It's a moment in your life, and sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's another moment in your life. It's like work hard, play hard. It's like work all day long, and you're just too exhausted to do anything, and boom, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll happens. But pride and vanity are they're higher tier sins. If we had to tier the sins up, then pride and vanity are higher tier sins, because I'd probably put them at the highest tier, and then right below that I'd put cowardice, and then right below that would be hatred and self-control or lack thereof. But usually people, they don't talk about vanity, and if they do, it's just making fun of like vain people. Like there's this Harry Potter character, one of my favorite characters. But he was a very vain guy, But all these other ones are lower tier, because it's just like, these are just moments in your life. But pride and vanity are always with you, or they're not. Pride and vanity are always with you, or they're not. These are two fundamental parts of our day. We either see property or we don't, Constantly. It's not moments in your life, it's a state of mind. And that's why they're the higher tier. And then cowardice, I think maybe cowardice is up there, because cowardice is, and bravery are states of mind, but I don't know. There I am. This, I did not do this. I don't mind it. That's kind of nice. Teresa did that. But, that's cute. But then she does that, and then she's like, no, like, Enrique Zoltano, but she puts EAZ, because she's Athena, right? And I'm just like, no. I keep telling you I don't want a fucking relationship with you, and she just wants a fucking relationship. She did it over here too, right there. But vanity's a big one, man. It's not lower tier at all, It's like, can you fucking look at yourself in the mirror? Or are you dependent upon the opinions of others? If you're dependent on the opinions of others, you can you can, like Shakespeare says, all the world's a stage, and we are just actors part. And there's some people who can just la 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 la, and they can look so glorious around other people, you know. And they're just so dependent on pathetic losers looking up to them, you know. We talk about the ego. We talk about the ego, And it's like, that's bad. That's bad. The ego's bad, But you gotta have a healthy love of yourself, you do. You gotta have a healthy love of yourself. And your opinion of yourself should come from within. Your opinion of yourself should come from within. Fuck the haters. Fuck all the rest of it. It's like, it's a state of mind. It's totally a fucking state of mind. And it's difficult, just like pride and humility. They're both just so fucking difficult to just change your state of mind. Because with pride and humility, it's just like, damn, it's like sometimes you're not the person that you really want to be, and you gotta look at that, and it stings. Pride and humility, they sting, But with vanity and self-respect, maybe we should say, I don't know. It's it's really about defeating loneliness. Really about defeating loneliness. Because sometimes in order to not be lonely, you gotta be like the crowd, Like I was watching these Facebook videos, and there were these 5 or 6, and they were all turned on different, but they eventually synchronized, And it's just like, no, you don't want to synchronize with someone that you don't respect. And it's about it's just simply about being the person that you want to be, And it's like sometimes people who surround you, they don't want you to be that person. They want you to be who they want you to be, rather than who you want to be. And it's about truly loving yourself. Because ego, that's bad. Ego will just destroy you. You know, but you gotta have a healthy love for yourself. You have to have a healthy love for yourself and be something that has never been before.